Thank you, Cara. President Biden will deliver his first State of the Union address tonight. He's expected to talk about the war in Ukraine, as well as rising prices and recovering from the pandemic. And here to help us break down what to expect tonight is Jason Whitehead again.
Jason is a professor of political science at California State University, Long Beach. And Jason, again, thank you so much for joining us, Professor. All eyes are on Eastern Europe right now as we speak, as Russia continues to invade Ukraine. What do we expect to hear from the president tonight?
Yeah, I think Russia has really reframed and changed the nature of the State of the Union address for President Biden tonight. Before now, I think mainly the emphasis of his advisors in writing the speech and in giving him advice is to reframe the presidency, get America's minds off of the doom and gloom of inflation and stalled domestic agenda and partisanship. This opportunity that Russia provides him with the invasion of Ukraine is to look presidential and to lead, right? Not just to do the kind of public relations things that presidents do in a State of the Union, but really to take the public opinion of the United States that is firmly behind him on this issue like no other, and to be able to convince the American people that America is on the right side and we can do something effectively to counter this invasion. The trick is, what can you do? The sanctions, the diplomacy, those things that President Biden has been personally involved in, look for him to really highlight those things, not only to make himself look like the leader that the American people want him to be, but also really to make sure that he is gaining the credibility that he can use and snowball on domestic issues as well.
And speaking of domestic issues, inflation is at a 40-year high. Businesses are short-staffed. The price of everyday products are going up. Wages are stagnant. What can the president say to reassure the American people?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, when you've got inflation like this that's eating at people's livelihood, that's eating at people's rents every month, and gas prices and housing prices and things of that nature, it's a really tough thing for a president to propose any one thing that's going to solve the problem. I think it's a subtle message that you've got to send if you're President Biden. You've got to be able to take credit for the boom in the economy and the unemployment rate and things that are doing well in the economy. And you've got to be able to quickly pivot and blame the Democrats in Congress, and even blame Republicans in Congress, but even to blame members of your own party for resisting your Build Back Better plan that President Biden is going to argue, I think, will and would, if passed, deal with the inflation issue. So look for him to highlight very specific parts of that plan that would perhaps lower prices and help families to deal with those prices.
And Professor, a final question for you. It is no secret that this pandemic has been long and very difficult for just about everyone. But with numbers finally trending down, do you think the president will paint a positive picture of the future of COVID-19?
I think so. This is another issue where you've got to do this subtle pivot. You've got to be able to reframe the fatigue that the American people are feeling right now. Even though we've been following the science and the science has been working, vaccines have been working, Americans feel really tired of this, and understandably so. So it's an opportunity to pivot from fatigue maybe to resilience, to kind of lead the American people out of the pandemic and to say, look, we're on our way out. It's just a matter of time. We've got to just stay the course and do what we've been doing. But also, I think the optics look great with the mask mandates falling, and this being a State of the Union without a mandatory mask mandate. So having the president walk into the chamber, perhaps without a mask, perhaps with most of the members of Congress being there without a mask, will send the right message, I think, to the American people that we're headed in the right direction on the pandemic.
Professor Whitehead, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it, your expertise in all.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You bet.